When Taylor Swift announces a new album, the world does not just listen, it stops, it stares, and it holds its breath. And this time, with her 12th studio project titled The Life of a Showgirl, that anticipation has exploded into something even bigger than hype. It's history in the making. Before the album has even hit streaming platforms, before fans have gotten their hands on the first official track, it's already breaking records. The pre-save campaign on Spotify alone has shattered previous numbers, and the announcement pushed Taylor into a league no other female artist has ever reached. Over 100 million albums sold worldwide. That's not just music industry success, that's cultural dominance. Think about that for a second. 100 million albums in an era where people barely buy records anymore, where streaming dominates the charts. Taylor Swift is moving unit like it's still the heyday of CDs and record stores. That's the kind of pull only a handful of artists in history have ever had. And Taylor is not just doing it quietly. She is redefining what it means to be a pop star in 2025. Every move she makes feels carefully orchestrated, but never forced, like she is pulling the strings of an entire generation's emotions while still looking like she's just along for the ride. That balance between control and authenticity is exactly why fans do not just listen to Taylor's music, they live inside it. What makes The Life of a Showgirl so fascinating is that it feels like another reinvention, another chapter in a career that's been defined by transformation. Remember when she first arrived on the scene as a teenage country singer with a guitar in her hands and curly blonde hair falling into her face? That version of Taylor, wide-eyed and ambitious, captured hearts with songs about high school crushes and fairy tale endings. Then she shifted into mainstream pop with 1989. And suddenly, she was not just the girl next door anymore, she was a global superstar owning the chart with synth-pop anthem. Fast forward to Reputation, and she became the unapologetic villain, leaning into snakes, shadows, and power. Each album has been more than just music. It's been a cinematic reinvention, a whole new version of who Taylor Swift is. So what does The Life of a Showgirl represent? From the little we have seen so far, it's an embrace of spectacle, of performance, of identity as performance art. The title itself feels like a reminder that Taylor's entire career has unfolded in front of flashing lights and massive audiences. She is not just singing songs anymore. She's crafting eras, giving fans worlds to step into. And this one promises to blur the line between the glamorous surface of stardom and the gritty truth behind it. There's already buzz that one track, Father Figure, will pay tribute to iconic hit from the 1980s. And that alone is enough to make both longtime fans and music historians perk up. If there's one thing Taylor has mastered, it's weaving nostalgia into modern storytelling. She knows exactly how to take a sound, a reference, a feeling from another decade, and transform it into something that feels urgent and new. But beyond the music, what we are really seeing is the cultural weight of a Taylor Swift release. Think back to the Eras tour. It was not just a tour, it was an economic event. Cities reported surges in hotel bookings, flights, and local business whenever Swift came to town. Economists actually coined the term Swiftonomic to describe the way her influence spills out of the music industry and into entire economy. When she drops an album, it's not just a moment in music, it's a pop culture earthquake that ripples across every form of media, every corner of fandom, and every platform where people gather to talk. That's the level we are at with The Life of a Showgirl. Fans are not just counting down the date, they are dissecting every Easter egg, every cryptic Instagram post, every carefully chosen outfit Taylor wears in public. They know she communicates in codes and puzzles. And part of the fun is figuring out the hidden messages. Is that bracelet she wore at the last award show a clue to a lyric? Does the number of candles on her birthday cake reference a track number? Swifties are trained to look at her every move like it's part of a bigger riddle. And Taylor has perfected the art of wording them for their obsession. At the same time, we cannot ignore how rare this kind of career longevity really is. So many artists rise, explode into fame, and then fade away. But Taylor, nearly 2 decades into her career, is still at the top, arguably bigger than ever. That comes down to her ability to evolve, to outgrow one skin and slip into another before the world even has a chance to get bored. She's lived through public feuds, heartbreaks, and cancellations. And each time, she's come back stronger, smarter, and more in control of her narrative. When you zoom out and look at it, her entire career is the story of resilience wrapped in melody. Now with this album, the question becomes, what story is she about to tell us? The title hints at glamour, but Taylor never stays at the surface. If history is any guide, she will peel back that glitter to reveal something raw, maybe even painful. She knows her fans crave honesty, and she has never been afraid to show them the darker undercurrents of her life. If Fred was about the chaos of heartbreak, if Folklore was about creating worlds of escapism, then the life of a show girl feels like it might be about pulling the curtain back on fame itself. What does it mean to be a showgirl, to live for performance, to become a character for millions of eyes every single night? That's the story she's promising, and fans cannot wait to live it. And that's why this moment feels so massive. We are just days away from release, and yet it already feels like this album has shifted the culture. Taylor Swift is the first and only female artist to ever surpass 100 million albums sold. But numbers are just numbers compared to the emotional investment of her fan base. They are not waiting for music, they are waiting for another chapter in a saga they feel personally connected to. They will stay up at midnight, headphones on, screens glowing, ready to press play not just on songs, but on experiences. When you look at the big picture, it's astonishing. A teenage girl with a guitar who sang about Tim McGraw somehow turned into the most influential artist of her generation, commanding the chart, the culture, and now the very economics of the music industry. And here we are again, on the edge of another era, waiting to see what she does next. Will Father Figure become the anthem everyone's talking about? Will the life of a showgirl spark a new wave of nostalgia-infused pop? Or will it, like so many of her past albums, completely redefine the expectations we place on a pop star? Whatever the answer is, one thing's for sure, Taylor Swift knows how to build anticipation better than anyone in the business. She knows how to make the countdown feel electric, how to turn fans into detectives, how to keep the spotlight not just on her music, but on the narrative of her life. And by the time Friday comes, millions of people across the globe will be pressing play, not just on an album, but on the next chapter of a story they feel like they have been living alongside her for years. That's the magic of Taylor Swift. That's the power of the life of a showgirl. And whether you are a lifelong Swiftie or someone just watching from the sidelines, you cannot deny it. This is history unfolding in real time, and we are all witnesses to the show.